කරණීයමන්ත කුසලේන යන්තං සන්තං පදං අභිසමින්ච සක්ඛෝජුච සුජුච සුවචෝචං සමුදෝ අනතිමානි සන්තුන්සකෝච සුභරෝච අම්පකින්චෝච සල්ලහුකවුන්ති සන්තින්ද්‍රියෝච නිපකෝච අම්පගම්බෝ කුලේසු අනුනුගින්දෝ නචකුන්දං සමාචරේකින්චි යේන විඤ්ඤූ පරේ උපවදේයුම් සුඛිනෝ වාකේමිනෝ හන්තු සම්බේ සන්තා භවන්තු සුඛිතන්තා ඒකේචිපාන භූතන්ති තසවාතාවරාවා අනවසේසා දීඝාවායේ මහන්තාවා මංජිමාරංසකානුකතුලා දිත්ථාවායේව අන්දින්තා යේච දුරේ වසන්ති අවිදුරේ භූතාවා සම්භවේසීවා සම්බේ සන්තා භවන්තු සුඛිතන්තා නපරෝ පරං නිකුම්බේත ඥාති මඤ්ඤේත කන්ත චිනං කංචී ව්‍යාරෝසනා පටික සංඥා ඥාඤ්ඤ මඤ්ඤංස දුක්ඛමිච්ඡේය මාතා යතානියං පුන්තං ආයුසා ඒක පුන්ත මනුරක්ඛේ ඒවම්පි සම්බභූතේසු මාන සංභාවයේ අපරිමාණ මෙත්තංච සම්බලෝකස්මින් මාන සංභාවයේ අපරිමාණ උන්දං අදෝච තිරියංච අසංභාදං අවේරං අසපත්තං තින්ඨං චරං නිසින්නෝවා සයානෝවා යාවතංස විගතමින්දෝ ඊතං සතින් අදින්ඨේය බ්‍රහ්මමේතං විහාරං ඉදමාහෝ දින්ඨින්ච අනුපගම්ම සීලවා දන්සනේන සම්පන්නෝ කාමේසු විනය්‍යගේදං නහි ජාතු ගම්බසේයං පුනරේති
Namo Buddhaya, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Good morning to everyone. Nice to see you again on another Sunday over Subang Jaya Buddhist Association Facebook and YouTube Live. Please check your Wi-Fi reception. If you encounter any problem with poor audio or visual, it may be due to the poor Wi-Fi reception. You may want to switch your Wi-Fi device off and on and refresh your computer. During this online Puja service, remember to have a calm mind, even if you are encountering problems. Nama Buddhaya, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma again. Welcome to Subanjaya Buddhist Association 22nd online Sundays Buddha Puja service. We organize this online puja service in order to give an opportunity to Buddhist devotees near and far to continue with our Buddhist faith and practices, an opportunity to listen to the Dhamma sharing during this COVID-19 period. Please make use of the comment box. Let us know that you are following our online puja service, and thank you for your support. As always, I always encourage you to share with your children, relatives, and friends this link of the online puja service. Remember to ask them to log in early. Let us prepare ourselves by sitting comfortably, relax our bodies, and compose our mind. Let's go of thinking about the past and future and in the present moment. I shall hand over to the puja leader, Sister Anne.
Thank you, Brother Chuan. Good morning, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Namo Buddhaya. Let us begin our Sunday Buddha Puja by making offerings to the Buddha. If you have prepared the offerings at home, you may light your candles or oil lamp and make the other offerings to the Buddha. May we invite our President, Brother Tim Siu Chun, to do the offerings to the Buddha. Devotees, please fold your palms together in Anjali position and contemplate mindfully. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, let us pay homage to the Triple Gem. Buddhang Puji, Dhammang Puji, Sanghang Puji. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, let us together take refuge in the Triple Gem and observe the 5 precepts. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Anatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kamesu miccācara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Sura meraya macha pamadatana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vidyacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sattadeva manussanang buddho bhagavati. Swakato bhagavata dhammo sanditiko akaliko ehipassiko uppanaiko pacchattam veditabbu vinyuhiti. Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samichi patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidang chattari purisa yugani atta purisa puggala esa bhagavato savaka sango Auneyo pauneyo dakineyo anjali karaniyo anutterang punyaketang lokasati Vandami chetiyang sabbang sappatane supati
Vandami chittiyang sapang sappatanesu patititang saririka tatu mahapoding Buddha rupang sakalang satta Yassa mule nisino wa sappari vicayang akka pato sappanyutang satta Vandetang buddhi patapang Ime ite mahapodhi lokanatina pucita aham pite namasami buddhi raja namatute kana sarapatitena dipena dhammathasina Tilokatitpang samputang pujayami tamonutang Kanta sampara utena tupenahang sukantina pujaye pujani yang tang puja pacana muttamang Wana kanta kunu petang etang kusuma santatin pujayami munintasa srepata saroruhi pujemi putang kusume nanena punyana metena cahotu mokkang pukpang milayati yata itang me kayo tata yati vinasa pawang Apiwa setu no pante paniyang parikapitang anukang pang upataya patikang hatu muttamang kayena waca cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame pante puri panya tata kata Kayena waca cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame dhamma santitika akkalika Kayena waca cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame sangka supatipanna anuttara Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Brother John. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, This morning, we are very pleased to have our President, Brother Chim Siu Chun, to share the Dhamma talk with us. Please allow me to introduce Brother Chim. Brother Chim is a founder member of Subanjaya Buddhist Association, SJBA. He has been the president of the association since 1992. Brother Chim is also a founder member of the past president of the Theravada Buddhist Council of Malaysia, TBCM, which was registered in 2012 to unite the Theravada Buddhist community in Malaysia and to work with the other national Buddhist organizations to safeguard the overall interests of the Malaysian Buddhists. He is also executive committee member of the Selangor Buddhist Development Council. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, in this Dhamma talk, if you have any questions regarding the sharing, please type your questions in the comment section. We shall post your questions to Brother Chim after the talk. Please take note that we may not be able to answer all your questions due to time constraints. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, with respect, we shall now invite our President, Brother Chim Siu Chun, to share the Dhamma talk with us with the title, A Meaningful Life, the Buddhist Way. Over to you, Brother Chim.
Thank you, Sister Anne. Namo Buddhaya, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, and good morning. This morning, Dhamma sharing is on a meaningful life, the Buddhist way. How do we live a meaningful life, the Buddhist way? First of all, what's the meaning of a meaningful life? A meaningful life is one which is purposeful, with a sense of purpose, and a life of a fulfillment, a life which is worthy of living. But what is life? If we see one another, back please. Brother Alfred, back please. Back please. Go back. Go back, thank you. Yeah, okay. If you see one another, I can see you as Brother Chuan, Sister Anne, or etc., etc. You can see me as Brother Chim. You know that I got this mind in this body. And we know that beneath the skin of our body, we have a flesh, we have blood, we have organs, which are in turns made up of tissues, and the tissues are made of cells, and the cells are made of aggregates of molecules, and molecules are just a bundle of this aggregate of these atoms. An atom is made of proton, ion, electron, with a lot of empty space in between. The scientists told us that there's 99.990% of the atom is actually empty space. So we are actually a bundle of empty space, emptiness within us. But with a naked eye, you can see me, I can see you as what we are conventionally. And this is what we learn in science. But what did the Buddha say? The Buddha taught us that we are made up of nama and rupa, mind and the body. And the mind is made up of unit particles of the mind, called sampayutta Dhamma. And the body is made up of unit particles of the body, called rupa kalapa. Next, please. And the rupa kalapa, or unit particles of the body, are made up of the elements. The Buddha called this earth element, or in Pali, Patavi, Dhatu. Element is Dhatu, Patavi is earth. Earth element or water element, Apo, Dhatu. Or fire element, Tejo, Dhatu. Or air, wind element, Vayu, Dhatu, and space element, Akasa, Dhatu, and the consciousness element, the Vijnana, Dhatu. So these 6 elements come together to make up of our mind and our body. Next, please. So the Buddha say in Anguttara Nikaya, Book of 3, Sutta number 61, dependent on all these 6 elements, descent of an embryo occurs. Because of these 6 elements and because of certain conditions, therefore a baby or new or birth is born. When this birth takes place, when this descent takes place, there is name and form. There's nama and rupa. There's a mind and a body. And with mind and body, the 6 sense bases arise. Next, please. And the Buddha explained in the Maha Kama Vipanga Sutta, the Buddha taught or told this Ananda, therein Ananda, as to the person at the time of death, undertake right view. After death, he reappear in a happy destinations, even in a heavenly world. So if a person, when he's about to die, and just before he died, his very last thought is of the right view, is of a wholesome states of the mind, he will be reborn again in a wholesome, happy destination. But if the person at the time of death undertake wrong view, after death, he reappear in a state of deprivation, even in hell, in a state of misery and suffering. This is what the Buddha explained to us, how rebirth takes place. When a person is about to die, his mental volition is very weak. It's very difficult for one to control the condition or the state of the mind when one is about to die. Therefore, it's very important for us to habitually develop our mind so that when at the time when about to die, then our mind can become or in a state of in a wholesome state. And when a person is about to die, his last thoughts is the same as the, or what I call the same as the rebirth thought of a new life. Somewhere in the universe where a male and a female come together and produce a speck of matter in the form of a fertilized egg, and also mind base. If the mind base and the last thought in the person who's about to die is the same, then a new life will take place in the new destination. It's just like, for example, when we switch on our radio, we turn on to the frequency of 89.9, which is a business FM, and we receive the signal of this business FM, and we did hear all those information on business FM. Similarly, when a person is about to die, if his last thought is a wholesome state, equivalent to somewhere in the universe where there's also a mind base which is of the right condition, the person will take place, or the birth will take place in that particular destination. So it's important for us to be habitually cultivate ourselves so that we have a wholesome state of mind. But if we are not have this habitual karma, then something very heavy in the past life, in this life itself, something we have done, some very bad or some very significantly very good action, we will thrust forward, this memory will thrust forward, and we remember what we have done, or we remember the symbol of what we have done, or remember of the future destination relevant to what we have done, then the rebirth will take place accordingly. Therefore, it's important for us to abstain from all those evil deeds, and also to cultivate ourselves habitually, so that when we pass away, our mind is in a wholesome state, and therefore we will be reborn again in a wholesome destination. Next, please. Therefore, our rebirth is very much dependent on our karma, the past karma, as well as the last thought. Next, please. Next, please. And some are reborn again in a womb. Kapam. Human beings are born again in a womb. And then those evildoers will be reborn again in a woeful states, in a state of misery. Those virtuous people will go to the happy state, the peaceful states in heaven. And those undefiled ones, those who have get rid of all the defilements, will pass away into Nibbana. So this is what Buddha taught us in the Dhammapada 1-6. Next, please. But for us to be reborn again as a human being is a very, very rare. It's a rare opportunity to be reborn again as a human being. The Buddha mentioned in the Dhammapada 182 that rare is the birth as a human being. Kicho manusa pati lapo. Heart is the life of the mortal. Heart is the hearing of the sublime Dhamma. Rare is the appearance of the Buddha. It is very rare for us to be reborn again as a human being. Next, please. The Buddha explained to us, next, please, that we have been reborn again and again and again in samsara for countless millions and millions of years in the past, and also countless period of time in the future, unless and until we attain Nibbana. The Buddha said that the period of time that we have gone through rebirth again and again and suffering for so many years is as long as if the bones from all our past lives would be collected, then the bones would stock up higher than even the highest mountain, Mount Everest. And if the tears that we shed throughout those many lives that we have gone through, if those tears would be collected, then the tears would fill up the oceans of the world. This is what the Buddha used as a simile, that we have gone through many lives in the past and how much suffering that we have suffered. But in this very life, we are very fortunate to be reborn again as a human being. Next, please. The Buddha used a simile to explain to us how rare, how fortunate, how blessed that we are to be able to be reborn again as a human being. The Buddha say in one of the simile that imagine there's a turtle, a blind turtle that can live for many years of life under the ocean. And only once in 100 years, the turtle will come out from the sea and emerge, lifting his head above the water of the ocean. And someone throw a wooden hook into the ocean. And this wooden hook is floating on the surface of the ocean. And the probability will be very rare or very small for the blind turtle to come out from under the water and put his head above the water through the wooden hook. So that's exactly how rare an opportunity for us to be reborn again as a human being. So it's a very blessed and very fortunate for us to be reborn again as a human being. In the world, there are millions or billions and billions of living beings. Human beings is only about 7 over billion. So we are just a small number as compared with the many living beings in the universe. Next, please. And life as a human being is also not easy. I think all of us know. There are so many people who are suffering in this world. Many millions and millions of people are suffering from starvation, from hunger, from sicknesses and so on and so forth. Right now, many people are suffering from COVID-19. More than 1 million people have passed away. Millions of people are suffering from the sickness of this COVID-19. And even then, for those who are born more fortunate, even for the rich and the powerful, they still cannot escape from somehow one form of suffering or another, from aging, sickness, and death. Some suffer more and some suffer less, dependent on our karma and what we have done intentionally through our body, speech, and mind. Next, please. We are the results of what we were, and will be the results of what we are. Past, present, and future lives are linked through wholesome and wholesome mental processes. The Buddha taught us in the Samyutta Nikaya, Sutta number 136. Next, please. And the Buddha also say in the Samyutta Nikaya, Sutta 227, that in accordance to the seed that is sown, so shall the fruits we shall reap. Good seed will bear good fruit in the right environment. Good action will give rise to good results or vipaka in the right conditions. Next, please. The Buddha taught this to a young man by the name of Supa. One day, the young man by the name of Supa, he actually was the son of a very rich man by the name of Toteya. Toteya was a very rich man because of a lot of dana that he has done in his past life. But in this very life itself, he is no more the generous man he was in his past life. He was a very miser, very stingy person. And every time when the monks passed by his house, he would actually abuse them and chase them away. Even the Buddha himself, he will chase the Buddha away. So one day he passed away and was reborn again as a dog because of his attachment to the house, to his possession. He was reborn again as a dog in the house. And Supa took care of the dog. And one day when the Buddha was passing by the house, the dog started to bark at the Buddha. And the Buddha talked to the dog. The Buddha said to the dog, he says, Toteya, Toteya, why do you still want to abuse me? When you were alive last time, as Toteya, you abused me. Now as a dog, you still want to abuse me. So naturally, Supa was very angry. It's how can you insult my father? How can you insult my father? My father is now in heaven because in accordance with our religion, we believe in our God. When we pass away, we will go into heaven. The Buddha, instead of replying to him, the Buddha asked Supa, Supa, do you remember that when your father was alive, there were certain those gold articles, gold items that your father liked very much? Where are they? He said, I don't know. He said, ask the dog, and the dog will bring you to where your father has kept all those gold items. And true enough, the dog brought Supa to the garden where Toteya has hidden his golden items, his treasure in the garden. And Supa was now getting more convinced. Then the Supa began to ask the Buddha a lot of questions. And one of the questions that the Buddha asked is, what is the reason? What is the cause, O Lord, that we find amongst mankind the short-lived and the long-lived, the diseased and the healthy, the ugly and the beautiful, the powerless and the powerful, the poor and the rich, the low-born and the high-born, the ignorant and the wise? And the Buddha say, all living beings have actions, karma as their own, their inheritance, their congenital cause, their kinsman, their refuge. Just karma that differentiate beings in the low and high states. Next, please. The Buddha explained this in the Chula Karma Vipanga Sutta, that if one avoids killing, Instead of killing, one save life, saving the lives of other beings, whether human beings or animals or other beings, will be long lived. If one would cause harm to others, but instead of causing, if one cause no harm to others, and instead of causing harm to others, try to take care of the welfare of others, then one will enjoy good health. If one is not full of anger and hatred, not wrathful, but instead full of metta, full of loving kindness, one will be good looking. If one is charitable, then he or she will be rich. And one who learn from the wise people, he will be intelligent. Next, please. So our destiny is actually within us, our hands. It's in our hands. We can more or less decide, or what more or less can change our destiny. What is past is already past. We cannot control, but we can control the present so that we can have a better future. Next, please. We can decide, for example, to live in a suitable locality. We can decide to continue to do a lot of meritorious actions. We can decide to set ourselves on the right course. And we can decide to do a lot more things that make our life meaningful. Next, please. We can also decide to learn and to practice the Dhamma. It is very hard to have the opportunity to hear the Dhamma because it is very rare for the Buddha to appear. For all those world cycles that we may have gone through, there are certain world cycles where the Buddha did not exist, and the teachings of the Buddha did not exist. But life goes on, people still go on, they're reborn, they grow old, they grow sick, and they die. We are very fortunate in this world cycle that, and in this very life itself, that we are able to encounter the teaching of the Buddha, and we are still able to listen to the sublime Dhamma. Next, please. And this will make our life more meaningful. And we can also make our life even more meaningful by practicing the Buddhist way of life, of doing dana, sila, and bhavana. I think all of us here are very familiar with dana, sila, and bhavana. Dana is the act of generosity, the act of giving, to cultivate our perfection of giving, to be able to let go, of our attachment to our possession. By letting go, our mind is more peaceful, our heart is lighter, and we are happier. And by doing so, also we have many other benefits. For example, during the time of the Buddha, there's one princess by the name of Sumana. Princess Sumana went to see the Buddha with 500 of her attendants. 500 means many of her attendants. She went to see the Buddha, and she asked the Buddha, if two persons who are of equal faith, of equal virtues, and of equal wisdom, but one habitually do dana, and the other one hardly do dana, when they pass away, and if they were to be born again in heaven, will there be any difference between these two individuals? The Buddha said yes. When they will be born again in heaven, one will have a longer life in heaven, even in heaven, and the one who do dana will have longer life, you live longer, and he got better complexion, he got better looking, and he got more comfort in life, he got better reputation, and then he's also got better position even in heaven. And Sumana asked the Buddha again, but if these two individuals were to be pass away in heaven and reborn again in the human world, will there any difference between the two of them? And the Buddha said yes. the one who do a lot of dana will have longer life, are you? And you have better complexion, one, no? And also he has better comfort. He live a more comfortable life. Somehow, by just putting in some effort, he can have a better life. And then his reputation is better because he's generous. And because his reputation is better, therefore, he can easily gain high position in society or in business and so on and so forth. So this is the advantage of the person who do dana, even though two of them are of equal faith, equal virtues, and equal wisdom. And Princess Sumana continued to ask, but what if both of them would live the household life, renounce and become monks? Will there be any difference? And the Buddha said, yes. Even as a monk, there's difference. Some monks will receive a lot of support in terms of lodging, in terms of food, in terms of medicine, and in terms of other requisites. So there's difference between the monks' way of life, even though they have become monks. And then Princess Sumana continued to ask further, but what if the two monks, both of them are a arahantship, and both of them would pass away into Nibbana? And the Buddha said, once they enter Nibbana, then there's no difference between the two. So the Buddha explained to us that we should cultivate ourselves in dana, sila, and bhavana. Right? Sila is, I think all of you know, about morality. And morality, sila, also of two broad categories. One is called charita sila, and the other called varita sila. Varita sila is on abstinence. Like for example, we keep the 5 precepts. All right, we abstain from killing. Instead of killing, we try to save the life of other people. We abstain from taking what is not given. Instead, we do a lot of dana. We abstain from sexual misconduct. Instead, we have to be very truthful in our relationship. We abstain from false speech. Instead, we tell the truth and speak those words which are metta, full of metta, and abstain from sexual, abstain from intoxicants. Instead, to lead a heedful life. All right. Bhavana is mental cultivation. I think all of us know, or mental training. The Buddha taught us that it's important for us to train our mind so that our mind can be in a state of calm, peace, serene, very sharp, focus, and to be able to see things in clarity, to see things as they really are. And also the mind to be constantly mindful, or what we call heedful. But it's not easy for us to be constantly heedful. And therefore, the Buddha prescribed to us how we should cultivate our mind. And it's not easy for us, especially as lay people to do so, because we have so many duties to do. We have so many, as many of us are busy with household work or office work and so on and so forth, with many external disturbances and also internal hindrances. So it's good that we allocate some time in our day to go slow, to go to a quiet place and train our mind so that our mind become peaceful and become tranquil, becomes very focused, and becomes very mindful. This is what we call meditation. And if a person were to go away from his house to a place quiet and conducive for a few days to do meditation, a few days or few weeks or few months. That is called meditation retreat. Bhavana, the objective of doing bhavana is to purify the mind. Purify the mind from what? Purify the mind from our kilesas, our defilements, all those mental impurities that have bind us in samsara, in the cycle of birth, aging, sickness, and death, again and again, life after life, for inconceivable long period of time. And bhavana, there are two types. One is called the samatha bhavana, and the other one is the vipassana bhavana. Samatha bhavana is to train the mind to be serene, to be tranquil, to be calm, to be peaceful. And vipassana bhavana train the mind to be very focused, very sharp, and to be able to see things as they really are. So if the mind is trained in such a way that our mind becomes very tranquil, very serene, very calm, very silent, very focused, very sharp, and to be able to see things as they really are, then a person can see that our body and our mind are all impermanent, anicca and dukkha and anatta. That all these physical and mental phenomena are all impermanent, unsatisfactory, and insubstantial or non-self. When a person is able to see all this, he becomes very dispassionate. And if he can let go of all those defilements, the 10 defilements that have bind him or her down in samsara, then the person will attain arahantship. But if the person can only let go just the first three defilements of a self-delusion, sakkaya ditthi, of a skeptical doubt about the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, and also about the belief of rites and rituals or ceremonies as the way of liberation from all this dukkha. If you cannot let go all these the first three defilements, then he will be reborn again or will attain as a sotapan. And the sotapan, the most, will be reborn again only 7 times in a sensual world before he attained arahantship. So this is the way of life, or this is the meaning of life that the Buddha taught us. And this is the way of life that we should live, so that eventually we can at least attain the path of Arya. At least we attain the first path, which is the Sotapan, and eventually to be able to attain the bliss of Nibbana. So this is a way of life that the Buddha has prescribed to us: Dana, Sila, and Bhavana. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. And the Buddha also, next, please. The Buddha also taught us some of those very important values of life for us to cultivate, so that we can have even a more meaningful life. Values like loving kindness, compassion, gratitude, forgiveness, contentment, mindfulness, non-attachment, and service to others. Loving kindness or metta, the opposite, no, compassion, and this altruistic joy, mudita, as well as upekkha, to be calm when facing with all those various challenges of life. Under the 4 Brahma-vihara as taught by the Buddha, metta is to have loving kindness, unconditional, boundless goodwill towards all beings, wishing everyone to be happy. Compassion is to wish or work towards the relief of suffering of those beings who are suffering. Mudita is to be happy or joyful with the happiness of others, with the success of others. And upekkha is to remain very calm in case of any vicissitude of life that we may face. Gratitude is also very important, taught by the Buddha. The Buddha himself, in fact, is a great example of one who showed gratitude, even to the tree that sheltered him for during the time that he was doing meditation just before his enlightenment. Forgiveness is, of course, also a very important aspect of our cultivation. In fact, in SJPA, when you do metta meditation, you started off with asking for forgiveness from all those people that we have done wrong to, through body, speech, or mind, intentionally or unintentionally, so that all of us can live in peace and harmony. And also we ask for forgiveness from those people that we have done wrong to, through body, speech, and mind, intentionally or unintentionally, so that all of us can live in peace and harmony. Contentment is very important, so that we are contented with what we have and live a happier life. Mindfulness, of course, is very important. This one you can talk in detail later. Non-attachment, not to be attached to our possessions. And lastly, service to others, which is a very important value that the Buddha taught us. In fact, the Buddha showed us how to be of service to others. Next, please. There was at one time, the Buddha went to one monastery, and that monastery got a few monks, of which one monk by the name of Buddhikatta Tissa Thera was very, very sick. He was very, very sick, and he was about to die, and his body, nobody took care of him. The rest of the monks also ignored him, and he was in a very bad conditions. The Buddha went over to see him with Ananda. The Buddha took care of him, ministered to him, bathed him, clean up the room, clean up everything for him so that he can have a comfortable bed to sleep on. And the Buddha also taught him the Dhamma and comfort him so that this monk become better. And then the Buddha admonished the rest of the monks, and the Buddha told them, "He who serves the sick, serve me." This is a very good message to all of us as Buddhists, that it's important for us to give service to others. It's not just for our own spiritual cultivation. We have to take care of others. Next, please. The Buddha is a very good example because the Buddha spent a lot of his time to give his service to others. The Buddha meditated 1 hour in the early morning session, which is from 4 a.m. to 12 p.m. He will meditate for 1 hour, the first hour, then he survey the world and see whether anyone needed his help. Then he go to the needy to help them. Before he went for his alms round, and then after that, after lunch, he will teach the Dhamma and also provide spiritual guidance to those who are in need. In the afternoon, the Buddha would again teach the Dhamma, provided guidance in meditation, and then he rested for a while, and then survey again whether anyone was looking for his help, and will go forward to help them and give them the spiritual guidance. And the first watch of the night, the Buddha taught the Dhamma to the monks. The second watch of the night, the Buddha taught the Dhamma to all those heavenly beings from the heavenly world, from the Deva world, and from the Brahma world. And the third watch of the night, which is from 4 a.m. to from 2 a.m. to about 6 a.m. The Buddha will spend a bit of time in walking meditation. He sleep for about 1 hour, then meditate in a Nibbanic place, do some meditation, and before he survey the world to see anyone needed help. So the Buddha slept about only 2 hours a day. Of course, not many of us can do that. But the Buddha spent a lot of time to provide his service to others, either to teach the Dhamma or to actually help those who are really in need. And this is something which, to a certain extent, we can emulate the Buddha. Next, please. Like for example, the Buddha, during his 45 years of ministry, The Buddha help a lot of people who are in need. The Buddha, next please. The Buddha helped the poor and neglected, like for example, Sopaka. I think many of us also have heard about the story of Sopaka, a very unfortunate young boy, who was born to a very poor family. And when he was about 7 years old, the father passed away. And the mother remarried to a wicked man, an evil man who did not like Sopaka. He wanted the mother, but he didn't want the son. So he always give a lot of problems and difficulties to Sopaka. One day he brought Sopaka to a cemetery. And in those days in India, people will just throw away they will just leave the bodies of the dead people in the cemetery. They're not buried. They leave there for the animals to eat. There's a culture. I think today we still have this culture in certain parts of the world where they don't bury the dead person. The father or mother will just leave it for the vultures to eat. In this case, in India, for the tiger or for the leopard to eat. So this man brought Sopaka to the cemetery and tied Sopaka to one of the corpse and leave him there. And Sopaka was so frightened, so fearful. He cried out loud. And that was a moment of time the Buddha surveyed the world and saw this Sopaka who is not due to die. Because when a person is about to die or when a person is due to die, nobody can save the person. When a person is not due to die, whatever it is, he won't die, except that he may suffer the pain and so on and so forth. So the Buddha saw this boy, Sopaka, who was suffering, crying in the cemetery, and the Buddha went to approach him and removed the ropes that tie him to the corpse. And the Buddha brought him back and bathed him and talked to him very kindly. And the next day, the mother discovered that the son was not at home. Was searching for the son and couldn't find the son. And she was so upset, so worried, so scared. But eventually somebody told her to go and see the Buddha. And so he went to see the Buddha. And then he found his son there. And she was very pleased that the son is with the Buddha. And she gave permission for the son to be ordained by the Buddha. Because if the son were to be with her, she was worried that her husband will give problem to the son again. So this is one of the examples that the Buddha personally went forth to help those who are in need. And there are also many other examples, like for example, Kisa Kotami, the story of Kisa Kotami, also very popular Buddhist story. That one day, she was actually the wife of a very rich man. And one day when she got a baby, and the baby passed away, and she was so upset. She just couldn't accept the fact that her baby passed away. And then she went from house to house looking for people who can try to help her to revive the life of her son. And she was so depressed and crying and so sad that until one day someone told her to go and see the Buddha. So the Buddha advised her or talked to her in a very gentle, very kind words, and told her if she can go to one of the house, any of the household, and ask for a family that nobody has passed away in the family, then bring back a mustard seed. The Buddha bring a mustard seed, I will try to help you. The Buddha got a very special way to understand the conditions of the mind of the person. Right? In this case, this Kisa Kotami is in the very state of the mind. So the Buddha used this methodology to help her to recover. So Kisa Kotami went from house to house to ask the family, is there any of your, do you have a mustard seed? Is there any of the family members the father or grandfather or relative, the family members who have never passed away. But she went around every household, every family, somehow got someone who passed away. So she began to realize that everyone one day eventually has to pass away. This is the reality of life, that everyone has to go through aging, sickness, and death. So we came back to see the Buddha. The Buddha give her advice again, comfort her again, and eventually she even attained the state of Arahant. Next, please. There are many other stories, like for example, having those criminal, this Angulimala, in fact, has killed so many people, but eventually even can attain Arahantship. Next, please. And most important of all is the Buddha advised us to go forth and preach the Dhamma. The Buddha was the first to send out the 60 monks to teach the Dhamma, right? This role is not just limited to the monks. In fact, during the Buddha time, there are also many lay people who have learned the Dhamma from the Buddha and also went forth to teach and bring many people to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. It's just like now that I'm giving you a Dhamma talk or this Dhamma sharing. Behind the scene, there are also many of us here, a few of us here, who's helping for this propagation of the Dhamma. Right? So whether we do it directly or indirectly, we still can contribute to the propagation of the Buddha Dhamma. There are a few of our very our silent hero working behind the scene, our teacher Dhamma team, our brother Chin, our brother Yik, Wai Hong, our brother Alfred. Of course, you saw brother Chuan and sister Anne. So in a way, together we are helping to propagate the teachings as taught by the Buddha. And there are so many other of our members in SJPA who, in one way or another, make the temple, make our vihara conducive for the propagation of the Buddha Dhamma. Many of our helpers, they come forward to help, to cook in the kitchen, they clean the vihara to make the place conducive so that people will come and listen to the Dhamma. So all these are basically services that we can do to make our life more meaningful, because we bring others to come and understand the nature of life and how we should live our life, so that more people can eventually be free from dukkha. More people will suffer less because of the understanding of the body and the mind. And every time when we appeal for help, also many of our, because of natural disaster, like for example, the major floods in Kelantan, Johor recently, a few years ago, Pahang, and also the earthquake in Nepal, the Nachis cyclone in Myanmar, and so on and so forth. And when we appeal for help, those folks home orphanages, many of our members also come forward to help. So this is also one of the ways that make our life more meaningful, by doing all these acts of generosity, by also giving our services in one way or another. We are all, in a way, coming forward to make our life more meaningful. But of course, there are a lot more things we can do. There are a lot more things that we can do than just all this. But if we can continue to cultivate this Buddhist way of life, Dana, Sila, and Bhavana, and continue also to cultivate all those values that was mentioned just now, and continue to give service to others, then that will make our life a more meaningful way of life. Okay, so may all you continue to live the Buddhist way of life, and may all of you also be able to add more meaning to your life by giving service, by doing Dana, Sila, and Bhavana, so that all of you will continue to live a good life, life after life, following the path as taught by the Buddha, and attain the Arya path eventually. May all of you be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Brother Chim Siu Chun, for the Dhamma sharing on the title, A Meaningful Life, the Buddhist Way. It has definitely helped us a lot in understanding how to lead a Buddhist life. We would like to request for, I'll over to Sister Anne first, all right?
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Rajin, for the Dhamma sharing with the title, Meaningful Life, the Buddhist Way. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, please help me to say thank you and a big sadhu to our speaker, Brother Jim Siu Chun. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Do we have any questions? All right. Okay, we have the first question while we are typing the thank you or sadhu to our speaker this morning, President Brother Chim Siu Chun. The first question is, just now it was mentioned, Brother Chim, is that to the person at the time of death, undertake wrong view after death, he reappears in a state of deprivation, even hell. What about the person who had been well cultivated, observing the precepts, but unfortunately, just before and at the time of death, he was not in a good state of mind and was in the wrong view, or vice versa? What is your opinion or advice to us to prepare ourselves before our death? Brother Jim?
Yeah, thank you, Brother Chuan. I think that's a very good question. When you say prepare yourself, or how we should prepare ourselves, and when you mentioned about cultivation just now, I presume that you say that we cultivate ourselves in dana, sila, and bhavana habitually. If we do it regularly and habitually, then this one becomes our habitual karma. So at the time of when we are just about to pass away, so our mind can be very mindful, because why? We have been doing all these things habitually, all right? So when our mind becomes very habitual, our habitual karma to take place, our mind is very mindful, then our mind is very wholesome. Then when you're just about to pass away, if the last thought is having this habitual karma or in a state of mindfulness, then the rebirth will take place in a wholesome, happy destination, all right? Unless he has done something very bad in this life, or maybe even in past life, something very unwholesome, very heavy bad karma. Like for example, he might have killed someone, especially if the person has killed his father and mother. If a person who has killed his father, his or her father or mother, then chances is that that memory will come back to his last thought, right? And then he'll be reborn again in an unwholesome state. Right? Otherwise, if a person has not done a lot of very heavy or good or bad karma, then most likely what he has done, what he has been doing habitually, will arise in his last thoughts. Because the last thoughts is actually a stream of consciousness. All right, the stream of consciousness cannot just stop like that. The stream of consciousness is driven by our energy of craving to somewhere in the universe where I mentioned just now, there's a speck of matter consisting of a fruition egg with a mind base with the same conditions as this last thought, and therefore life is born because of that. So the person is always very mindful, has been doing a lot of good deeds, habitually cultivating metta, cultivating is dana, sila, and bhavana. Then chances is when he is about to pass away, his thoughts will be very mindful, and also his last thoughts will be of his habitual karma. Okay, did I answer the question?
Okay, very good. In fact, it gives a lot of information for our listeners that we have to continue to do what is required as a Buddhist. As per your talk just now, we have to do it and to practice, to cultivate our mind continuously. Do we have any other questions? Let me see. There are a lot of good comments that have been very helpful to our understanding on how to serve others. Yeah, right, very good. Most of all of it are comments. So with that, if there's no other questions, then let me see. Okay, we will end the session. Sister Anne, is there any other questions from your side? All right.
If there's no question, I think we still got some time. Brother Chon, why not we do a short metta meditation?
Yes, that will be good. You're really putting us to practice what you have taught, what the Buddha has taught. All right.
We still have about 10 minutes here, about 10 minutes in it.
Just do a shorter than that. 5 minutes.
Okay, I think we just do a short 5 minutes metta meditation.
Yeah,
Dhamma. Let's sit down comfortably in the meditation posture, relax your mind and relax your body. Please relax yourself, relax your mind and rest your body, and close our eyes and have a short contemplation before you proceed, seeking forgiveness from all those that we have done wrong by our actions, speech, or thoughts. If I have done anything wrong to anyone by actions, speech, and thoughts, may I be forgiven so that all of us may live in peace and harmony. And also forgive anyone who may have done wrong to me by action, speech, or thoughts, in order that all of us may live in peace and harmony. Let us now take a few deep breaths and slowly relax our mind and our body. We relax as you breathe in and you breathe out. Relax our mind and the body. Let go of all those tensions, all the stress, all those unhappiness that trouble our mind. And as you breathe out, as you breathe in all those positive energy that bring us peace and happiness. In the Dhammapada verse number 5, the Buddha say, hatred is not overcome by hatred. Hatred is only overcome by non-hatred. Loving kindness or metta is a form of non-hatred. It's important for us to develop metta to overcome hatred or dosa, which is one of the 3 roots of all evils that bind us to samsara, the cycle of birth, aging, sickness, and death. Let us now develop loving kindness or metta, first to ourselves and then to other beings. Let us develop this metta to ourselves. May I be well, happy, and peaceful. 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 Just as I wish to be well, happy, and peaceful, may other beings also be well, happy, and peaceful. May my family be well, happy, and peaceful. May my family be well, happy, and peaceful. May my family be well, happy, and peaceful. May my relatives be well, happy, and peaceful. May my relatives be well, happy, and peaceful. May my relatives be well, happy, and peaceful. May my friends be well, happy, and peaceful. May my friends be well, happy, and peaceful. May my friends be well, happy, and peaceful. May all beings be well, happy, and peaceful. May all beings be well, happy, and peaceful. May all beings be well, happy, and peaceful. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, you may now let go of the concentration Slowly open your eyes. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you very much, Brother Jim. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, Brother Jim, for leading us in the meditations. It was a very good learning this morning. Please help me to say thank you, sadhu, to Brother Jim again, and to all those helping in this morning online Sunday Buddha Puja. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, this morning we have participated in the Sunday Buddha Puja service, listening to the Dhamma sharing. We have done the meditation with Brother Jim and understanding on the Q&A. With the merits accrued, let us dedicate the merits to all our departed relatives, families, friends, and all beings, and may they rejoice to the merits. Akasata Bummata Devanaga Mahediga Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakantu Loka Sasanang Chirang Rakantu Desanang Chirang Rakantu Mangparang Ettavata amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva sabbe satta sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampadisiddhya. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukitahon dunyadayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukitahon dunyadayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukitahon dunyadayo. Imang no punya bagang mata pitunancha acharyanancha sabba sattanancha sabbamitanancha sabbanyadinancha sabba pedanancha Sabba Deva Banancha Vajema Imam no Punya Bhagang Sabba Satanang Dema Sabbe Sata Sukita Hontu Imina punya kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana patiya. Idang me punyang asawakaya wahang hotu idang me punyang nibbanasa pacayo hotu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Brothers and sisters, before we end, let us pay homage to the Triple Gem. Buddhang pujemi, Dhammang pujemi. Sangham pujemi. Sukhi Hontu. To all the devotees, sadhu to you for participating in our Buddha Puja. Till the end of the session, we did the dedications of merits. Please express your thanks to our team, speaker, Puja leader, and to our digital team. We have come to the end of this 22nd online Sunday Buddha Puja service. Remember to access to our Facebook to see what is in store. We have our Friday evening Dhamma sharing. And we will continue with our Sunday Puja service. Remember to log in early. For the Sunday, please log in at 9:25 a.m. May you and family be safe, well, happy, and peaceful always. During this COVID-19 pandemic, to stay safe is to stay home. Sukhi Hontu, goodbye. Sabbe Sata Sukhita Hontu.
Bahong sahan semabhinim mita sayudantang ngirimi kelang udita Sasene marang